Okay, so today we're going to learn about classifying polynomials. And the nice part about classifying polynomials is they all keep a certain kind of name and number sequence for how many terms different things have. So the first thing is a polynomial is, poly means many and nomial means like numbers. And so what it really means is like there's many things in this. So like a polynomial might look like 3x squared plus 5x minus 3 because it has many many kinds of numbers like the x squareds, the 5x, and the negative 3. So we're going to learn the naming sequence for this stuff. So the first way we could classify these polynomials is by their highest degree. And so we have a couple different names for their highest degree. And the first one would be a linear. That's a first degree thing. So just x. Or x, like calling it x to the first. So anytime like your highest degree is x to the first, that's called a linear. Because when you graph it, it makes a straight line. The next one we could have is a quadratic. A quadratic's highest degree is a second degree. And so your highest degree is some kind of x squared. The third degree is called a cubic. And a cubic would be like x to the third. Now if you get higher than that, we just kind of start calling it fourth degree and fifth degree and sixth degree. There are names for that, but it's not important to know that. So after you get past 1, 2, and 3, which have special names like cubic, quadratic, and linear, we're just going to start calling them fourth, fifth, and sixth degrees. Now there's another way to term this, is by the number of terms it has. And a term is either a number or a number and a variable. So this thing up here would have 3 terms. Now again, for the first 3 things, we have special names for these things. So a monomial is a 1-term thing. So maybe it would be like 3x. A binomial is a 2-term thing. So maybe that's like x squared plus 5. And a trinomial is a 3-term thing. So we would maybe say that's the thing up there, like x squared plus 5x minus 3. So you can have a 1-term, a 2-term, or a 3-term. Again, just like the same. After that, we would say this is like a 4-term, a 5-term, or like a 6-term if we move on. Okay? So again, the first 3 things always have special kinds of names like linear, quadratic, and cubic, monomial, binomial, and trinomial. After that, we just call it 4, 5, and 6 terms. So a couple other things that we could do is we can start like multiplying these monomials or adding these monomials or subtracting these monomials or binomials or trinomials. So let's see. So right here I have a binomial or a quadratic binomial because it has a second degree. And I'm going to multiply it by a quadratic trinomial and see what I get. So when we multiply these two things, again, this would be like distribution or like foiling. So this would have to multiply by all the terms. So 3 times 5 would give me 15. And you're going to add the exponents. So if it's m to the second times m to the second, you'd get m to the fourth because 2 plus 2 is 4. Then we'll do 3m squared times negative 3m, which will give me negative 9m to the third. Again, this would be a 1m, that'd be a 2, so 2 plus 1 is 3. 3m squared times 4 would be plus 12m squared. And now we're going to do the same thing with the 4, and I'm going to move a little bit faster this time. So that would be plus 20m squared minus 12m plus 16. And the nice part for this is you just combine like terms. Well, this doesn't have a like term, this doesn't have a like term. These are the only 2 like terms. So our final answer would be 15m to the fourth minus 9m cubed plus 32m squared minus 12m plus 16. And for us, we would call this a fourth degree 5-term polynomial. Okay, let's do one more example where we don't multiply. Let's look at subtraction. So here, we're going to subtract these two things. And again, you can only subtract like terms. So since this has nothing to subtract with, I'm just going to write that down. This does have something to subtract with, which would be a positive 2. So negative 2 plus positive 2 would cancel out, go to 0. This has something to subtract to, which is my negative 7. So 5 minus a negative 7 would give me 12. So 5 minus a negative 7 will give me a positive 12. And then there's nothing to subtract this 4/3 with, so minus 4 to the third power, I would just get a negative 4n to the third. So there's nothing to combine here. But we can rewrite this because we have everything out of order. So I'd write this as 4n cubed plus 3n squared plus 12. So it's rewritten. And then we could label this. So this would label as a... So we have a third degree, which we would call cubic. And I have 1, 2, 3 terms, so we call this a trinomial. So it would be a cubic trinomial. Try the naming and number sequence today. And again, just remember the things from this slide right here, that linear would be first degree, quadratic is second, and cubic is third. And then monomial is a first degree, a binomial is a second term, and a trinomial means you have 3 terms. Okay?